is in the link to this video already. So make sure you all get you some if you want to try. It's really a good tea. All right, so we are moving on to D.L. Hughley in his show Endangered list. What you know about this? Have you seen this? This was submitted by Miss Danielle Brown. So thank you, Miss Danielle Brown, for your submission. We appreciate it. D.L. Hughley, the Endangered list. Did you see this or not? Let me know. It's not new. It came out in 2012. But when I say this was some good shit, this was some good shit. Did you see this? If you saw it, give me a one. Put a one in the chat. If you did not see it, say I did, two, meaning I did not see it. Let me know if you saw D.L. Hughley's The Endangered list on Comedy Central or wherever you saw it. It is currently showing on Corey House said, love it. Kashi T'Challa, hello, and welcome. She or he did not say, I'm not sure if Kashi is a male or female, but I love that name. Yes. Did not see it. Okay. And Angie said she saw it tonight. Awesome. It is a great 45 minutes. So that's all it is. Kashi. All right. Thank you, Miss Kashi. Thank you, Miss Kashi. So if you've seen it, if you I also put the link to the YouTube video in this link. So it's here. It is a great 45 minutes. So let me just say, it is about, for those of you who do not know, and those of you who do know, let me know if you want to chime in. Let's talk about it live, or we can chat. But of course, I'd love to take you live. I would love to take you live. So anyway, it is about the endangerment of Black men. All right. First of all, D.L. Hughley is a damn genius. At first I didn't like him. Right. When he first came on, I did not like D.L. Hughley. I didn't. I did not like him. But I didn't like him because all he did he did all the joning. I just don't really like that. I don't like that. I know that it's a part of our culture, and I know that that it shows creativity, and I know that it shows wit, and I know that it shows, you got to be pretty crafty, especially if you're good at it. I'm a language arts teacher, so I can appreciate the creativity of it. I just don't create bash. I just don't enjoy bashing people. I just don't get off on that. And when he first came around, that's pretty much what he did. He talk about people in the audience, and they loved it. I don't like this shit. So I didn't like him. But then he became more political, and he started talking about the shit that really matters. And I've been in love with him ever since then. I love D.L. Hughley. All right. So this is very Michael Moorish. It's like a documentary / stand up. Can you put some hot water in there for me? Y'all forgive me. I'm freshening up my cup. So my daughter is up, so I want her to help me. Just pour me about 3/4. So I'm gonna pour something else in there. Okay, so Angie said it's on YouTube. Yeah, I got the YouTube link in this video too. So it's about men being in danger, Black men being in danger, right? When I first saw it, I wanted to. Oh, I was telling you, it's very Michael Moore-ish. If you watch Michael Moore documentaries, I love Michael Moore. I love Michael Moore because one, he's funny as hell, right? But he's also extremely intelligent, and he knows his shit, right? That's very clear. Corey said, "I love DL now. I think he's conscious, unashamed, forward, and is on our side." I do too. I do too. Miss Corey said, "Hey, Zoe." I do too. I really do. I think that he's always worth listening to me now at this point, right? So it's very Michael Moorish in that it's an expose, but he travels and he asks questions of people who are he's truth to power, right? He asks questions of people who have some power and don't give a fuck what they think or what they say. He just put it out there, whether they're offended or it don't matter. It doesn't matter. That's what he does. So the premise of this is, and G said, I was slightly offended that it wasn't Black men and women. You can't have a Black man without a Black woman. It was interesting. That's true. That's true, Andrea. But it wasn't until as of late. This was done in 2012. If he redid it, he probably would do that now. I'm just saying that because he's conscious. But it wasn't until as of late that they started plucking off our women. Well, you know what? Let me not say that. Let me just say plucking our women and killing them like chickens out in public as of late, right? Because we can talk about Sister Sandra Bland and Sister Breonna Taylor and how they harassed some of these other young ladies. That wasn't really the norm until now. As far as killing men in the street like chickens and snatching them up, they've been, that's been a regular. It's regular. It's common day, common practice, right? I didn't see the date for it. Yeah, it was 2012. So so the premise is he decides to so funny. But he does this piece where he talks about, what it takes to be on an endangered species list. And in the video they show pictures of, the bald eagle and lions and all of these endangered species. And immediately when I first started watching, I thought about, I don't know if you all, but I know you remember the situation. I don't know you remember Cecil the lion, right? You remember that lion? I think it was in Zimbabwe. Thank you. I believe it was Zimbabwe where they killed that lion and everybody was in an uproar. I mean, in a complete uproar about the fact that they had killed this lion. Do y'all remember that? I know you do. But there was a discussion among conscious people that the whole world was in a fucking uproar over this lion, but they killing blacks each and every day, and don't nobody give a fuck, right? What I thought about when I in the first 10 minutes probably of this is I thought about there was a video one time on YouTube and I couldn't find it. I looked for probably an hour today. I could not find that video. I wish I would have downloaded it when I saw it years ago. But during the time that they killed the Cecil the lion, there was a video. It's a very talented brother did a video dressed up like a lion, and it was it was comedic, but he was talking about himself as a lion, and he was juxtaposing the rights that this lion had as opposed to the life of a black man. It's very, very rich piece of was a skit, about 5 minutes or so. Funny as hell, but real, for real, for real. And I kept looking for that because I wanted to share with y'all because that's what I thought about when I thought about this. Let's see. Corey says some men can't see past their own mortality. It is asking him to address black women too akin to black women versus all. Wait, Corey, I'm missing that. Some men can't see past their own mortality. Is asking him to address black women too akin to Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. That's a question. That's a question. Who killed him? And I don't know who killed him, but somebody killed him, and we did. It was a long time before we heard the end of it. So her question is, Corey is asking. She's asking, is throwing women in there the same as is it akin to Black Lives Matter? Somebody said, well, all lives matter. Black lives matter, but all lives matter. She's saying, is it the same? I mean, is talking about women at this point the same when we're talking about black men? So you all answer that. Someone answered that. Is it akin? She's asking. Soggy Paul said she didn't see it. All right, so this is the premise, and I'm waiting on anybody can answer that question that Corey's saying. Basically, what she's saying is that's what people do. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, then a white man come and say, or white woman come and say, but all lives matter. We ain't talking about all lives right now. We're talking about black lives because they're being plucked like chickens in the street. And that's what she's saying. Isn't that the same thing? All right, y'all let me know. So I'm getting sidetracked. So here we go. The premise was to find out, could he get the black man on this endangered species list? So he did the research. He kind of shared some numbers and shared, how these different animals were killed, and then showed the outrage that the white community, because it's always them, had about these animals and the death of these animals and so on and so forth. So he began to go through he goes through the channels of what can it, the process, what does it take to get, someone or some animal on the endangered species list. And he also talked about, how is one considered, how is an animal considered an endangered species? And of course, the black man met the criteria. So then he said, well, let me find out what the process is. What can I do to get the black man on the endangered species list? So he went, to the proper channels and found out what he needed to do. And they said, you're gonna have to get complete these signatures and get enough signatures for this, and then you got to bring it um uh before the board, some board, I can't think of what it was right now, and they have to be heard by the board and so on and so forth. And he did exactly that right. He goes out to New York City, I think it was, and he starts trying to collect signatures to put the black man on the endangered species list. And of course, everybody's looking at him like he lost his mind. He's like, would you mind signing my petition? You don't have a problem, do you? Sign this petition? And the people are like, what is it about? Oh, I'm trying to get the black man saved. I want to put the black man on the endangered species. Oh no, I'm not signing that. No, I'm not signing that. Up and down, left and right, everybody he pulls over, they say, oh no, I'm not, I wouldn't do that. And of course he got jokes, when they say no, but nobody's willing hardly to sign this list. So then he says, nobody can get attention of people more than, white women. So he go and hire, I think it was about 6 white women, little young white girls, put them on a t-shirt. And I want to say this t-shirt, I believe it said bro life. I believe it's what it said, bro life. And he gives them, boards, and they go out and they ask the same thing, And of course, everybody they go up to, they're completely interested in what they have to say until they say, well, yeah, I'm trying to get signatures for to put the black man on the endangered species list. What? What did you just say? I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to sign. Nobody wants to sign. So then he says to them, fuck it. Tell them that. I can't think of what he told them, but it wasn't that he was getting black men on the list. He said, fuck it. Tell them so and so, so and so. They was like, okay. And that's what they did. And of course they got it signed, Oh, I think he said they were saving blue whales or something like that. Whatever it is. They got all the signatures they wanted once he did that. And he said, see that shit right there. See that shit right there. Let me read some of these comments. And she says, link to the story of Cecil's killing. No, not to the Cecil's killing. I got a link to DL's show. Soggy Paul said, I don't like DL because he talks about folks. That's why I didn't like him. But I haven't heard him do that lately, though. If he's grown from that, I'm glad. Yeah. I haven't heard him do that in a very long time, Soggy Paul. So you should check him out because he is about the love of his people. And that's for real. Corey said, it was so good. It sure was. All people should watch it. To see these folk be willing to sign for animals. That's right. They never heard of. But not black people was so hard to watch. But telling and expose these races. That's right. Black rhino. That's right. That's what he said. That's right. The black rhino. He said they'll sign for a black rhino, but they won't sign for a black man. That's some shit right there, right? Kashi says black women still outnumber black men almost 2-1. So maybe DL feels men are the most endangered. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they are the most endangered, Kashi. They are. And I'm saying that because we don't have to talk about how many men are in jail, right? We don't have to talk about how many have been killed. And I'm gonna have to throw this in there. Hopefully I don't offend nobody, but okay, let me not say that. I was gonna say because that don't have nothing to do with them being male. So nothing. Yeah. I think they are more endangered. No, Angie says, so we are expendable? No, we're not expendable. But it's just more of us than there are of them. We're not expendable, but I do think that, we're outnumbered. They're outnumbered, way outnumbered. Don't make them more important, but it's kind of like, let me see, example I can use. Well, I'll leave it like that because Jack is not going to let me talk too clearly. But no, we're definitely not expendable. Everybody knows that we're not expendable, not at all. Um, Derek said that he loved it. It was an excellent, excellent show. So there are a few things that I wrote down that I wanted to share that came from it. I thought this was interesting too. He this was hilarious. He went to some white supremacist group and talked to their leader and asked him questions about what he wanted to do. Of course, you know. Sorry. What he didn't ask him to sign the petition first. He asked him what their organization was about. Basically, the guy said the organization was about helping the black people to get back to Africa. Hill said, "Oh," he says, "to get back to Africa, we believe that." He said, "We're not haters. We don't hate black people. We just think that they should go back to Africa. And if not," he said, "if not, then the country should be separated at best. That they should be separated into quadrants." I think he said, and he mentioned a country. He said like they do in, I don't remember what it was, but he said, their blacks are in one area, and whites are in another area, and Asians are in another area, Jews are in another area, and DL said, "So how do you plan to do that? Besides outside of killing people or whatever?" And he says, "Oh, no, 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 no." He says, we're not gonna kill anybody. It's gonna be peaceful." So DL says, "So what country do you know? Where have you seen this done peacefully?" He says, "Oh no, they do it in such and such and such and such." He says, "Did they do it peacefully?" "Well, no, it wasn't peaceful. You know. So how the fuck it can happen?" Was his question. Of course, Dio just left him sitting there. So he ends up taking the guy out with him, right? They go out for different places. So funny. But they go out to different places, and DL is really just kind of just making it very clear, obviously, painfully obvious that this guy's an idiot, like anybody else who thinks that they could even function without black people. And he asked him that too. He says that too. Basically, how the fuck would you function? How would you even function? But he doesn't say it to him offensively, because clearly he wants him to do this interview and he wants to hear what he's thinking. Right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. At the end of that piece, though, he says, "So would you sign my petition to get the black man put on endangered species list?" "I'm not doing that." That was the first time he kind of bristled up. "I'm not doing that. I won't do that." He says, "Okay, I'm just asking you to say I won't do that. I'm not doing that." He says, "Well, can you at least wish me luck? Happy. Good luck to you, DL." So clearly racist, so clearly stupid, and so clearly not up to par when it comes to a conversation with D.O. Hughley. All right, let's see. Corey said, "Hey, Kashi, Tracy, what's going on?" Let's see. Angie, so we got, okay, no, we're not expendable. He said, "Loved it." Jack, yeah, Jack is doing this thing. Corey, "I don't think we're expendable, Ann, but I feel like they're deserving of their own causes." Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Corey. I agree with that. Women's rights. She said that they are deserving of their own causes. That's true. That's true, because we already know what's owed us. We talk about that. We get that out there. I just think that we get it out there. We make our causes known. They don't necessarily. They don't do that as much as we do. Let's put it like that. Corey said he had that Joker stuttering. He couldn't handle it. Yeah, he was stuttering. It's funny as hell. Eastern Europe block country. Yeah. Kashi said, "And it's simply numbers. No one said anything about expendability. Our black women's place and position has, for the most part, been well established in our communities." That is right. That's true. It can be rough. Yes, indeed. Tracy's still here. God is good. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, she is. God is good. Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with most of what you all said. There is I just think that we have to kind of, I think we have to help blow the whistle about our brothers, because I don't think that they're in a place to say some of the things that we want to say, or have even a platform that we have. Because quite honestly, where did this come over? I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. Yesterday, yes, I know. I've been praying. I've been praying. Had my babies praying. I've been praying. We've been praying. Um, I believe that. Let me share some of these. I lost my point just that quick, but let me share some of these with you. Some of these things that he said I thought was interesting. They'll say the black rhino, but they won't say the black man. 93% of black males kill each other. 93% of the deaths in a black among black males are from each other, right? That whole black on black crime thing. He says we're the only species hell bent on destroying ourselves. Now, what was interesting is he had this conversation with these young men, um, gangbangers, which was I think probably the most interesting thing of the whole piece of the whole show. Although much of what it said was really interesting and very informative, but to see the the that they understood that what he was able to gift to these boys, and when I say that I mean in forms of information, the fact that he was able to get this information to these young men was very, very critical. I think very important, very important. So the young man, two young men, he's kind of walking and talking with them, but they're clearly gangbangers, and they talk about that. He asked some questions about, you got any blood on your hands? Yeah, 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 and he talks about the lifestyle, how many of your friends have been killed, and so on and so forth. And they have this conversation, but in this conversation, with DL, he's telling them and he's explaining to them some of these facts that I'm telling you right now. And at first, you could tell that they just kind of really, just they're in conversation with D.L. Hughley, but they really want to just kind of talk about what they've accomplished as gangbangers. But when he gets done explaining to them how he's trying to get them on an endangered species list and talks about the rate that they are killing themselves or killing each other and the rate that they're dying, and then he talks about the prison complex, and he gives them information about how our country has privatized prison, right? Some information clearly that they did not know. And he talked about, I want to say, he talked about a state, and I can't think of which one it was. It might have been California, but I can't remember exactly. I'm looking to see if I have it in my notes. But he talked about a state that said that came to no, a company that came to the state, and I believe it was California, came to the state and said to them, listen, we'll buy all your prisons. This right here about took me out. Said, we'll buy all your prisons from you. We'll buy them from you and give you cold hard cash. But in order to do that, you are going to have to keep them 90% full. Did y'all hear that? We'll buy your prisons from you, but you're going to have to keep them 90% full. And if it's happening in California, I don't remember the exact state he said, but I know this. If it's happening in California, it's happening elsewhere. He talked about the fact that there are publicly traded correction companies. So there are correction centers that are publicly traded on a New York Stock Exchange. So if that's the case, nobody's going to try and get rid of prisons. And I don't have to tell you, I know you're not wondering who's filling them up. They're filling them up with our brothers and our husbands and our sons. So if they're being publicly traded, and this ain't new information, it's just new to me. I didn't know they were publicly traded. If they're being publicly traded, and if states are being courted with cash to sell their prisons, and my thought would be, I'm sure that's something that you don't, if you could get rid of a prison, you don't have to worry about the upkeep of it. You don't have to worry about none of that stuff, the bills or anything of that. That's a good investment. So if there's so much money to be made around the whole prison complex and the whole prison system, and we don't even want to talk about that school to prison pipeline, how big of a trick bag are we in? And yes, indeed, our brothers are endangered. They are endangered for sure, for sure. Oh, what you think about it? What you think about it? Tell me what you think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these comments real quick. Tracy is, oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm praying for you. I'm gonna leave it like that. Absolutely praying for you. Saki Paul said they are my fragile as a species. They are definitely fragile. Yeah. Tracy, the media will have you believe that white on white crime doesn't exist. That's true too. That's true too. They got a different kind of crime. They don't have the kind of crime that we got going on, but don't let them be holding no money for you. Say get rid of you in a minute. Snatch your, yeah. You know, it's different. It's interesting. Their crime is, it ain't being talked about. You're absolutely right. But it's interesting to me how they do shit like husbands kill their wives and kids turn around and kill their mom and them, and high collar, that white collar crime that they don't have to. That's interesting too. That they don't go to they don't get real hard time for. It may be hard in terms of length, but we ain't talking about the kind of hard time they get the brothers when they ain't in federal prisons. That's a whole nother conversation right there. But yeah, white on white crime definitely exists. You can watch it. You know that they may not put it on the news, Tracy, but they put it on these shows. You know, they put it on these uh um I'm thinking about one that I love to watch. What is it called? American Greed. They put it on there. They will put it on there. They don't, but we don't see it on our local TV show every night. That's for sure. Corey said they're making proposals all over the country. See, that's what I'm talking about. They got it. That's what I'm saying. They're doing it in California. I know they're doing it elsewhere. So this is a big deal. This is a big issue. You know, this is a big issue. Uh, there was one more thing that he said that I definitely wanted to give y'all, but I think I wrote it on something else and don't have it here. Needless to say, it's a fabulous documentary. If you've not watched it, please do that. Please watch it. If you all have another comment about this, about DL Hughley's endangered list, go ahead and put it in the chat or give me a call if you like. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up really soon because it is late. I didn't realize we were only this long. But that first conversation took us over. I'm glad y'all hung around. Please share the stream. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you can, if you will. I would appreciate that. Last thoughts on tonight. Last thoughts on tonight. Let me know what you think. We talked about Lisa Ray, no, Iyanla and the McCoys. What are your last thoughts? Tell me what your last thoughts are on either topic, on Iyanla and the McCoys, or on DL's endangered list. Again, do not forget that there is a link in this video description to watch that endangered list because it's great. I want to make sure that you've seen that you see it if you haven't seen it. Awesome, awesome. Also, there is a link to the bush tea, the red bush tea that I'm drinking right now. So, and it's a pretty tea. I should have used my clear cup so you could see it. It's a very pretty tea. It's red. It is red. So, make sure you check it out in the link. If you have any comments, last comments, let's do that. Let's do that. My thoughts on Lisa Ray and Iyanla is I don't think their lives are fixed yet. It's gonna take a long time to fix that shit. But it was very interesting. It's very interesting. And I think there's a lesson in it for us, for me, I know. And that is to not hold on to so much bitter and so much anger. Not hold on. If you can get your healing, you know, get your healing. Not to hold on to stuff. It was almost like Aunt Viv last week, right? Not to hold on to stuff if you can help it. Get some get some healing and also get somewhere and assess yourself. That's the other lesson I think from there. Um, Assess yourself. Look, take some inventory on your life because there's a possibility that you could be carrying that shit, stuff like that is doing you no good. That is doing you absolutely no good. So that is my thought for Iyanla and for DL Hughley. I see someone else has a thought. Let me catch that. That's Corey. Howe says, let's get our routine and get ourselves together. Vicky and anyone else that's interested, we can hold each other accountable. That's true. Now you're talking about, I'm gonna say a exercise regimen, I'm thinking. You're absolutely right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Saki Paul said prison is a business. Absolutely, laws are created to keep them full. Soggy Paws, I'm gonna bounce off what you said as I close out my thought for D.L. Hughley's endangered list. It is, you're absolutely right. Prison is a business. Laws are created to keep them full, and it is our job. I think it is our responsibility to hip as many young men and young women as possible to the same information, to that fact. And I'm gonna say young women because there are a lot of our young girls are being caught up with guys that are not in the right place at the right time and and are being held accountable for some shit that they probably shouldn't even been involved in. So I agree. It is a business. We need to sound the alarm and let these young folk know that any way that we can, whether it's in direct conversation or through some kind of group or mentoring group, whatever, we need to let them know that this is the case. It's a business, and if you're not where you need to be, you better get where you need to be. Okay. Soggy Paul says that's old news. I'm not sure what's the old news, but and then Soggy Paul says it starts in schools. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Don't forget to live with Miss the live with Miss Danny and Iyanla Saturday. I'll text you the info. Please do. A friend of ours is going to be live with Iyanla Van Zandt on Saturday. So on this video, I'm gonna it'll upload. Check back to get that link because I'll put the link in here as well. So if that is, I think that is it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you again. Again, please, please, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. There's nothing left to do but wrap it up. And wrap it up is being brought to us by brownsugarbabies.com. Although we already wrapped it up. We wrapped everything up just as neat. It's already in our neat package. brownsugarbabies.com. Brown Sugar Babies Boutique is, let me turn this down a little bit. I know that is maybe a little loud. But Brown Sugar Babies Boutique is the home of Brown Sugar Baby Shea Souffle and the purveyors of Afro trinkets and gifts, as well as artisan jewelry and accessories. You can get our Brown Sugar Baby Boutique items at www.brownsugarbabies.com. That's www.brownsugarbabies.com. As well as in Touray Family Enterprises, which is located at 2415 Elizabeth Lake Road, Waterford, Michigan. We are the Oakland County Kwanzaa headquarters. That's right, we are your Oakland County Kwanzaa headquarters. Thanks for hanging out with 3T. Now, you can help us build this platform by simply taking a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Business opportunities. You can become a patron of 3T. Also, you can submit a product or a service to be reviewed or shared on 3T. You can book VBTouray for an engagement or donate at Cash App VBTouray.com. I'm sorry, VBTouray or PayPal VBTouray at yahoo.com. Send your inquiries to info@vbtouray.live and your topics. I'm going to give this last topic and we'll go. Or from Corey says, and we have to stop using this system to threaten or punish our men for issues in our relationships too. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Soggy Paul said they do stuff like insurance jobs on their cars, but leave them in Detroit. It causes the crime rate to be reported in Detroit, not in their city. I'm not, wait, Angie says Wahala is Yoruba. All right, there you go. So I'm going to say this. Don't get caught up in no Wahala this weekend. Or the rest of this week and this weekend. Have an awesome rest of your week. Be prosperous, and I pray that you stay in good health.